Hello, Max here, and today we are going to be reacting to Pepsi had more warships than some nations, allegedly, by the Fat Electrician on his second trial, the Fat Files. This channel being the one, it seems, for interesting business stuff, companies doing outrageous stuff like Arizona Iced Tea or KFC. I am very curious to find out what is going to be going on with Pepsi having warships allegedly having, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting thing. I just really had to watch, so we're gonna go ahead and get this started here. I'll leave a link to the original in the description. If you enjoy, please do leave a like. If you have anything you'd like me to react to, please do leave a comment, and please do subscribe to help me build my community. Let's go ahead and get this started. Take it away.
For a brief period of time, Pepsi had the 6th largest navy in the world. No, it didn't.
Oh, is this about
the famous?
Is this about debunking a myth? Or is it one of those, there's a grain of truth behind a larger myth kind of thing?
Internet meme that has been sent to me at least 10,000 times that during the Cold War, Pepsi traded a bunch of soda to the Soviet Union. In exchange, the Soviet Union paid with naval warships and...
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I don't know how true it is. It would be very interesting. But if it is true, I doubt it's nearly as much as people will say. Maybe like 1 or 2 ships, and it's probably meant to be like cargo, I bet.
For a brief period of time, Pepsi supposedly had the 6th largest navy on the planet. I don't believe you! Now, to be completely honest...
Yep, that's my reaction too.
A couple of years ago, when I first had this meme sent to me, I immediately started looking into it, and I was like, this is going to be a Fat Electrician video because this is right up my alley. This is my whole thing. And it took me about an hour to come to the unfortunate...
But here's the question. Is it going to be a Fat Files one because it's about a business, or is it going to be a Fat Electrician video because it's about military? Ooh, decisions.
Heartbreaking conclusion that the meme was basically over-exaggerated nonsense, so I never made the video. But then last week on this channel, Fat Files, we busted the internet myth or the internet meme that mattress stores are just a giant front for laundering money, and I had...
Oh yeah, that is a video he did. I didn't see that one. I think I know what I'm going to have to watch next.
So much fun, I decided I'd do it again, and this meme immediately came to mind. So I went back and I started researching again, and what I found out is that there is a small nugget...
So what you're saying is, this is for fat myths? I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Of truth inside of this meme, but the meme as a whole is actually a small nugget inside of a much larger story. And that story is an epic saga of how an American soda company undermined the Soviet Union, one of the leading powers in the world, literally for decades, culminating in their grand finale of creating the funniest, most demoralizing commercial of all time.
Wait, if he's talking about the one I think it is, I thought that was a Coca-Cola ad. I guess we're gonna find out again.
And we're going to get into it right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by
Yep, sponsor.
Supremacy World War III, a free PvP online strategy-based game where you can play against up to 99 other people. You get to pick any country you want, and then
this is his video. I'll leave the ad in just for him.
Okay, personally, I'm picking the United States every single time because, well, to be honest with you, I enjoy winning. And then
use his
codes.
codes.
Deciding who to attack first. I like to base all my stuff off of current events. Last month, I was attacking Iran first. This month, I'm attacking Greenland first, and then I get to watch Germany get confused.
I don't know directions.
Poland for no fucking reason. And they just came out with the officers update where you can unlock war legends that add buffs to all of your other units. So go check it out. It's free to play, and if you use my link down below in the next 30 days, you're gonna unlock a free elite railgun unit. Let's get back to the video.
Railguns. I like railguns, but not exactly up my alley. Sorry, mate.
Did you know that
not the actual ad?
That's right.
Come on. Where's the skip, and skip.
Our story begins in 1959. World War II has ended. The Korean War has also started and ended. America is now practicing containment doctrine. Basically, America has taken a vow to prevent the further spread of communism. And that
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, considering how things usually turn out, no matter where these conflicts usually take out.
The goal has gotten extremely more difficult and complicated because now the Soviet Union has acquired nuclear weapons thanks to atomic spies like Klaus Fuchs and the Rosenbergs. Because obviously the communists couldn't figure out how to make a nuclear warhead on their own because, well, communists can't really figure out how to do anything on their own. All they can ever do is steal intellectual property and then make cheap knockoffs and sell them on Wish.com.
I think he has something personal against the Soviet Union. Can't tell.
With the exception of the AK. The AK is pretty dope. I'll give them...
The one export aside from vodka, that the Soviet Union pretty much has gotten everywhere is the AK. Like, there's an AK in High Guard, which is about to be destroyed. But still, there's an AK even in that. Good lord.
But that's one thing, okay? And it took an American to make it in 50 caliber, okay? And that guy's running for Congress.
You're goddamn right.
The world has a
He's got more,
in
though.
the middle. You have America and NATO on one side, and the USSR and the Warsaw Pact on the other side. The world
Let me know if you want me to react to the 50 cal video.
is divided. The Cold War is at its peak, and we are at the height of McCarthyism with the Red Scare. America is terrified of going to nuclear war and the communists coming to get them. But also, Stalin died recently, so everybody's just kind of like, what if we didn't go to nuclear war and blow up the entire planet? I mean,
that sounds nice. Maybe we could do that.
that'd be kind of cool, right? Maybe we should try.
Wait. I don't know too much about the Soviet history, very much, but Stalin had nukes? I could have sworn we didn't get nukes until after Stalin. Ooh, that's definitely a lot scarier, thinking that man had nukes.
To get along. So in 1959, in an effort to make that happen, America and the USSR decided to have a cultural exchange. Basically, it was like an agreement to have a trade show. Basically, like the Soviets were going to grab a bunch of their communist-made bullshit, they were going to bring it over to America, set up a trade show, and show it off to a bunch of Americans, and vice versa. America was going to grab a bunch of their awesome shit that capitalism made, they're going to take it over to the USSR, and they were going to show it off to all the communists. So when America sets up their trade show,
Great plan. Cultural victory.
they're bringing over all their best shit. They're putting their best foot forward. They're bringing over the best American cars. The Soviets are over here. They're used to seeing the Volga, the most
This kind of propaganda piece stuff is what really, really wins a lot of things. If you can say, hey, what we're doing over here is so much better than your stuff, oh boy, people are going to want that stuff. They're going to want it real bad, and they'll do just about anything to get it. That's why North Korea has such tight borders, because they don't want anything getting through, and the only people who can pretty much indulge in anything foreign is pretty much their highest echelons of people. I believe Kim Jong-un is like a big avid watcher of, I don't know if it's John Wayne movies, but I could have sworn he liked some Western movies, but he's like the only ones who get to enjoy it or not.
popular car in the Soviet Union in 1959, which, to be completely honest, I thought was part of the female reproductive system until right now.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm partly covering that.
No.
And then we've got America showing up with the 1959 Chevy Impala, which is gorgeous and
Old school cars had a style, didn't they? Hey, look at that thing. I know really jack about cars, but you gotta admit, they all really look nice. Even though the looks really don't matter. It's whatever's it's in the inside and the engines and stuff. Because what if it doesn't run? Then it's just a nice giant paperweight, isn't it?
objectively better in every single way. The Soviets are used to brutalist architecture, the
Minimal movie?
ugliest, most disgusting, soulless architecture mankind has ever come up with. Cool.
Like McDonald's today. Oh, I miss old school McDonald's. I really miss the playpens. Moving on.
We're going to grab a house from a suburban neighborhood in America and we're going to bring it over to the USSR and show it off. And then we're going to cut it in half and split it open so everybody can get a nice big view of how awesome our houses are. And because we split the house in half, we're going to call it Splitnik. Get it? Sputnik? Splitnik? That's fucking funny. And then obviously,
Never heard of that,
we're gonna
okay.
bring a ton of different food, which is something the commies don't know anything about at all.
Ooh. Oh no. Now, the food. Food is what's really gonna get people. I mean, one of the big innovations when it comes, I don't know about innovations, but big cultural influences in America when foreigners came in, it's the food. Like even what am I working to think of? Like pizza and taco, well, not tacos. What am I Well, like the influence of those here to get created, like having those passed in, like a lot of that is that we eat today is based on brought over foods, or at least redesigned food. Like even the fortune cookie, not actually Chinese, completely made up in America, but hey, inspired by China just to make something happen. So I don't know what we push. Barbecue. I'll betcha barbecue is the one thing these days. If we push up this somewhere, they gotta love that. That's pretty much the only thing we really got there.
And one of the food vendors that we brought over was Pepsi.
Also, I miss Hook. That was a good movie.
And I know what you're thinking. Why would we bring Pepsi? Why didn't they bring Coke? Well, from what
I could have sworn they did with Coke. Then again, I do recall Coke was kinda in bed on the other side of things, if you know what I mean. Like, I think there was even a photo of Hitler drinking a Coke once. I don't remember, though.
I was able to find, they tried to bring Coke first, but Coke declined because they didn't want to associate with commies, which...
Fair enough.
Didn't know I could like...
But they're literally red. It's the perfect color for them. They would have had such a market share. But you can't blame them, can you?
Coke any more than I already do, but here we are. So Pepsi shows up, and Pepsi is like, okay, this is a great opportunity. Maybe we can pierce the Iron Curtain. We can get into the USSR and open up this new market that no American company has access
Like League of Legends getting into China.
to, and we could become the official beverage of the USSR, and we'll make billions and billions of dollars. It's a brilliant plan. I mean, maybe. I find it hard to believe that becoming the official soda of the USSR would be a good plan, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh, come on! I'm going to... Come on. Oh my god, it's one of these unskippable ones. Go! I hate these ads. I hate ads. Too many ads in the world. Oh, and I hate these fake game ad things. Piss off.
So Nikita Khrushchev shows up, Stalin's replacement, the head of the USSR. He's walking around this trade show and he's talking shit the entire time, right? He's looking at all of America's cool cars, all the food, the houses. He's looking at everything and he sees it as just one big psyop. Like, America can't be doing this well. They're clearly putting their best foot forward, trying to demoralize the Soviet people. So
And yet we're actually bringing the middle tier stuff.
he's just going through the whole trade show,
You should
pretending
see
to be
what
unimpressed, talking
you should
shit
see what the
entire
rich
time.
people
And of
get.
course, he's walking around the trade show with America's highest ranked delegate there. Obviously, America's not going to send the president of the United States over to the Soviet
Right.
Union because they just kidnap his ass, and they're not going to send Nikita Khrushchev over to America, so they just send a high-ranking person, and that high-ranking person is the vice president at the time, Richard Nixon. Eventually, Nixon gets tired of Khrushchev talking shit, and they get into a little bit of a heated debate, an argument, basically a shit-talking contest between the two of them in the kitchen inside of the demonstration house, and this is referred to as the kitchen debate. So they're having this little shit-talking contest in the middle of this kitchen, and the executive from Pepsi, Donald Kendall, sees his opportunity. He's got a plan. He's going to get a picture of Nikita Khrushchev drinking a Pepsi, and that
Ooh, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Now that's a psyop.
picture is going to go viral. Then everybody in the USSR is going to want to drink it, and that's how they're going to break in and pierce that Iron Curtain, which is going to be way more difficult than it sounds, because remember, Nikita Khrushchev doesn't want to look impressed at anything. He wants everything to be shitty. So A, he's probably not going to sample any food, and even if he did, he's definitely not going to give it a good review.
Right.
But Donald Kendall's got a plan. He's going to show up right at the end of this heated debate with an ice cold refreshing beverage, and he's going to finesse a good review out of Nikita Khrushchev. How's he going to do it? He's going to show up with 2 cups of
Put that charisma score to work.
Pepsi, one for Nikita Khrushchev and the other one also for Nikita Khrushchev.
What?
So when Donald Kendall rolls up with both of his Pepsis and gives both of them to Nikita Khrushchev, he's like, Mr. Khrushchev, I wanted you to try an ice cold refreshing Pepsi. This one is made with water from America, and this one we made since we got here with water from the USSR, which
Oh, that's sneaky use. That is sneaky. Clever. It's like, oh, you actually use stuff of our stuff. Oh, that is a clever gun.
one do you like more?
Tasty.
Okay, do you understand what just happened? It's beautiful.
Gee, I wonder which one he picked. Doesn't matter. They're both Pepsi.
Now, Nikita Khrushchev is backed into a corner because if he's going to give a bad review to Pepsi that's made with water from the great USSR, he's talking shit about his own home country. He can't do that. So he's forced to try them both and then say that the one from the USSR is
You think they can make that happen with North Korea? Just saying, that would be sick.
fantastic. Gotcha, bitch. And then, of course, while he's taking a drink, they make sure to get pictures. We've got the before
Of course.
and the after. Here's the before. Moments away. Seconds away from success.
Wait. Oh, wait, there it is. I was about to say. I was like, hey, it's a couple of cups. But no, there's the actual Pepsi bottle.
Look at Donald Kendall in his white pimp suit. That is a man who knows his plan is about to come together. And then we've got the after. Look at the smile on Nikita Khrushchev's face, tasting capitalism for the first time. It's beautiful. These pictures
Gotcha!
Pictures go viral, and Pepsi becomes the mythical drink of capitalism that can bring a tear to even a communist leader's eye. So now people in the USSR, they want to try Pepsi. They want to be able to drink it. But the problem is they can't really buy it because the Soviet Union uses the ruble, which isn't really recognized by anybody outside of the Soviet Union. So even if Pepsi did go in there and sell a bunch of Pepsi, they could only get paid in rubles, which aren't good anywhere else in the world. So the entire thing would be worthless. And before...
Which means... Ding ding, dollars. Gotta get them dollars.
Pepsi and the USSR can figure out some kind of alternative deal. The Cold War ramps up a ton. The nuclear arms race is going on. Nobody's doing any business with the USSR. It's looking like we're going into nuclear war, so it's not going to happen. Okay, great. Fast forward like 13 years. Richard Nixon is now the president, and Donald Kendall is now the CEO of Pepsi. Richard Nixon is trying to de-escalate the entire Cold War.
I mean, if you can get one of the leaders of a giant nation like Russia to take a drink of your drink and seem like they like it, I think that's going to get you a CEO spot.
Basically, we've spent the last 20 years making as many nuclear bombs as possible and coming up with a bunch of ridiculous creative ways to put them on our enemies' foreheads, and it's getting out of hand because now America and the USSR both have enough nukes to end the world 10 times over. So Nixon works out a deal with the USSR called SALT I, the Strategic Arms Limitation Talks, and basically it puts a cap on how many nukes each country can have and how many methods of deploying them they can have.
As if anyone's really gonna hold that. As if both sides don't have secret reserves they're not saying about. You know they've got to.
Basically, we both have enough nukes to blow up the entire planet. Why are we making more? Let's just put a stop to this and accept the fact that either one of us could get pissed off and flip the entire board game over whenever we wanted. And this signals to America.
Pretty much the safest places are the most isolated islands anywhere. That's not gonna matter. Or in the deepest of mountains or someplace. And then when everything's over, then come out to all Fallout style.
In businesses and the rest of the world, really, that America is trying to work with the Soviet Union again. Cue the CEO of Pepsi, Donald Kendall, sauntering back into the equation. So he comes in, immediately starts trying to work a deal, right? This is an enormous untapped market. If he can get in there, he'll absolutely crush. He knows that. But the problem is, Soviet Union still has the ruble. It's still worthless everywhere outside of the Soviet Union.
Sir, this is just monopoly money.
So the Soviets literally don't have any money to pay for the Pepsi with. So what do you do when you want something, but you don't have money? You trade. Okay, well, what do
It's like Iranian money today.
the Soviets have? Vodka. And obviously the Soviet Union isn't allowed to export.
I mean, Pepsi for vodka? I mean, seems like a fair trade to me.
And sell their vodka in the United States because the United States doesn't do business with the USSR because, you know, sanctions and whatnot, political nonsense. So obviously this plan of being allowed to sell Soviet vodka in the United States of America on Pepsi's behalf is a pretty tall ask for the US government. Luckily, Donald Kendall helped this politician campaign and win his office, and that politician's name is, let me check my notes.
Oh no.
Richard Nixon, the fucking president.
Somebody's more important. Freddy, can you keep the riffraff out of here?
I was literally about to pause it and they say something. Dang it, now I completely forgot what I was going to say.
And now they're...
I'm assuming that's Happy Gilmore because I remember the saying from the first movie, but I've not seen the second movie.
Homies, and have been since the 1959 trade show 13 years ago. So Donald
Can you blame him? That's a huge PR win for both Nixon and Pepsi.
Kendall goes over to his homeboy, the president, and is like, hey, if I give the Soviet Union a bunch of concentrated Pepsi syrup so they can bottle it over in the USSR and make soda, and they pay me with Russian vodka, can I turn around and sell that in the US marketplace and Pepsi keeps all the money? To which Richard Nixon and the rest of the American government is probably like, so let me get this straight. You want to be able to sell Russian vodka in the U.S. marketplace, and that money is going to stay in the U.S. marketplace. Pepsi is going to keep that money, and in exchange, you're going to give the Soviets diabetes. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
boom, deal made. Pepsi goes on to become the first American product sold inside the USSR, the first American company to pierce the Iron Curtain. Okay, and this is the mythical capitalist drink that they've been wanting for the past 10 years since the 1959 trade show. It becomes outrageously popular. So that's the deal. Pepsi sells the Pepsi concentrate to the USSR. They take it to their own bottling plants. They make Pepsi. They sell it. They have the licensing to market it as Pepsi. In exchange, they get a bunch of Soviet-made vodka. They turn around. They sell it in the US. They make their money. Everybody's happy. The plan works.
What could go wrong?
right up until it doesn't. By 1989, you got to remember, Pepsi is essentially
Spoke too
operating
soon.
inside the USSR with a monopoly. Everybody's drinking fucking Pepsi, whereas on the other side, where they're trying to sell vodka, there's competition for alcohol. There's beer, whiskey, there's
Yeah.
other vodka brands, right? They're not selling as much vodka as they are Pepsi, which means Pepsi's not making enough money, so they've got to figure out some other way to barter with the USSR to get the value from all the Pepsi they're sending over there. And this is where the warships come in, okay? According to the internet meme, Pepsi then trades a bunch of Pepsi over to the USSR in exchange for 20 Soviet warships, 17 submarines, 1 cruiser, 1 frigate, and 1 destroyer. And
That can't be fully true, right? That cannot be true. There's gotta be something that's different, something that is not quite right here.
then they eventually sell it off to be scrapped, and that's how they get their money. But for a brief period in time, Pepsi had the 6th biggest navy on the planet.
I don't believe you.
Okay, no, it's not. I did the rough tonnage on 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer, and I checked. It would not be in the top 10 for 1989. Honestly, I'd be shocked if it was even in the top 20. And
So the lie technically is they're not top 6. They're actually top 10.
that's if you're being generous enough to
No.
call 20 scrapped vessels a viable navy, which
Hey, China does it plenty of times.
it's not. B, that's also just not what happened. Okay, there's a bunch of other YouTube videos about this. They all seem to have a different version of what happened or how this went down. Some of them say what the meme said. Some of them have a little bit different critique, whatever. I don't think any of them are right from all the other videos that I watched. They all just appear to be citing each other, citing the meme, or citing random blog
All the circular videos, not exactly the most useful stuff there.
posts that they found. So I went through scouring newspaper articles from all across
It actually kind of reminds me. I saw a video. I can't remember by who, but they basically said that, hey, I made a video. Then it got. I can't remember what the topic was. I think it was about the Illuminati's. The person, not the group. How they plagiarized a whole bunch of stuff and they spread it around. Somebody else did it, and then somebody else did it, and then somebody else did it. And they're crediting the other person, and yeah, it's just a whole mess of circular stuff. I mean, it happens all the time in legacy media, I believe, too.
the United States of America from 1989 till 1995, and here's what I found. Pepsi did not trade concentrated sugar syrup to the USSR for 20 warships. At no point did Pepsi have ownership over these warships. What they did is they broke
Oh, wait. Pepsi recently helped the Soviet Union sell 20. They helped. That puts them 13 more than 7. Wait, what? Wait, I'm sorry. What am I reading here? Pepsi recently helped the Soviet Union sell 20 warships. That puts them 13 more than 7 Up on Coca-Cola. Has no navy. Wait, what? 7 Up on Coca-Cola. Coke has no navy. I don't know what in the world has arms dealing opened a new chapter in American business. Will Avis start releasing tanks? Will Whoppers come with sesame seed bombs? Who the heck wrote this? Whose paper is this? Pepsi was also the middleman for sale of a Soviet cruiser, destroyer, and frigate, which is not exactly a glass of carbonated nost? It gives down the hatch, new meaning. The very Associated Press that brings... Oh, so it's the Associated Press. The Dispatch had its origins. Man, they had some weird lingo.
a 3-way deal with a Norwegian shipyard. And they basically had the same exact proposal that they had with the US government. They approached Norway and they were like, hey, if we convince the USSR to turn over a bunch of their warships to you for scrap, and in exchange, you give me a bunch of money, and then I give them diabetes, would that be okay with you? And then
It's middleman tactics. But technically, in order to do that, they had to be given the, I think so. Well, unless it depends on how they're doing it. If it's giving it over to Pepsi for Pepsi to give back, or it could be circular. They give the stuff to Finland, and Pepsi gives, or whoever he said, and then Pepsi gives their product, and then Pepsi never touched it. Then they definitely didn't. So it depends on how this happened.
Norwegian government is like, cool, that's great. So the Soviet Union turned over 20 warships to a Norwegian scrap company.
Norwegian.
They picked up the warships. Pepsi had no ownership of them at any point in time. And then the Norwegian company gave Pepsi a bunch of money.
There it is. It's the triangular one. it's technically Norway who was the, well, I guess they all kind of worked it out. It's a trade deals. How do you expect, right?
Yes! Can you feel
Conspiracy YouTubers.
Guaranteed that
We literally just had one! Come on, man! Although I do need to try Enfield one day.
Now, a bunch of American newspapers started reporting this. They made the story very confusing, so I see why some people do think America had the 6th largest navy on the planet at some point in time, even
Sesame seed bombs. That one still gets me. Oh, come on.
though
Move on.
that is incorrect. So once people got that impression, they also started to get conflicting feelings like, hey, I don't know if a soda company should be getting involved in international arms deals involving gigantic naval fleets.
That's the one good thing about capitalism. I don't know about good thing, but it's certainly a quality of capitalism, is that any business can technically do any kind of deals with any business or entity. So, and countries are technically their own entity of things. So, you know, yeah, everything has their own little tit for tats kind of thing when it comes to capitalism.
Of warships, to which, you know, pretty understandable sentiment. Pepsi doubles down. They come out with a press statement saying the US government's just mad that we're making them look bad because we're de-arming the Soviets faster than they can. Okay, the plan
Okay, these AI videos are getting out of hand.
worked. Pepsi's like, holy shit, it actually worked. We made a ton of money. We've got a monopoly over there. How can we exploit this to make even more money, knowing that we can sell Russian ships and get a ton of cash? Pizza Hut. We own
There
Pizza
it
Hut.
is.
Pepsi owns Pizza Hut. Let's start putting Pizza Huts inside the USSR.
Diabetes.
So Pepsi goes back to the USSR and they're like, hey, we know you
Maybe this is what I actually saw. A Gorbachev ad. Is it Gorbachev? One of the group, they're having a pizza. It's either having a pizza or they're having a Pepsi or a Coke. I could have sworn it was a Coke, but we're going to see.
guys
Hopefully
like
it'll
bread,
show
you're
us.
standing in line all the time for it. How would you feel about a big flat piece of bread with some marinara sauce, some cheese, and some toppings on it? It's called pizza. It's fantastic.
God, I haven't had Pizza Hut in so long.
The USSR is interested. They're listening. They want Pizza Hut. They also want more Pepsi. Pepsi is like, okay, here's the deal. You want pizza, you want Pepsi. We're going to need some money. Your money is basically garbage. It's worthless everywhere. It's monopoly money. So we're going to need you to give us more ships, and then we'll sell them for actual money. To which the USSR is like, we don't have any ships to give up right now, but we do have a pretty big ship manufacturing infrastructure. How about we build you 10 brand new oil tankers worth $1 billion, and then you start throwing up Pizza Huts inside the USSR.
Oil takers? That's some fat money there. Oil? Woo! That could make multiple millionaires with that kind of stuff. Of course, then if they've never been in that industry, then they have to get all kinds of other funds and factories and other kinds of things they'd have to buy and purchase. But if they get into that industry, holy cow, and then... But yeah, tankers themselves, just transporting things over ship, even if it's not even an oil, I mean, even if they fitted it for anything else, or just any kind of basic transport, that would be huge money. Granted, of course, then there's the maintenance of thing. Oh, man. It's a thing.
Pizza Hut is like, sounds great. And that happens in 1990. The Soviet Union gets to work building their
Hey, hi, Ukraine.
oil tankers, and they start throwing up Pizza Huts all over the USSR and slinging Pepsi all over the place. Okay, side note, this is part of the story that drives me absolutely nuts. Like, if this was
what's
a
this?
movie, I would be watching the movie being like, this plot line is stupid. That wouldn't
I mean, life is stranger than fiction, as they say.
happen in real life. This would have happened instead. You know, one of those moments where it's like, why didn't Gandalf just have the giant eagles fly the hobbits to the volcano and save the world in like 20 minutes? One of those.
I like the theory that he said, when he said, "Fly, you fools," he was meant to go to they were supposed to have some eagles stationed somewhere to go drop them off. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but I still like that theory. You made over $3 billion by deciding to walk.
Why don't the Soviets just steal the recipe for Pepsi? Like, I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong. Stealing intellectual property is wrong. You shouldn't do it. But also, like, they fucking stole nuclear secrets. Like, they've already crossed that line. I don't understand, like, the moral code of, I'm willing to steal nuclear technology to build nukes to end the planet, but Stealing a Pepsi recipe is crossing the line. Like, just steal the recipe and make your own. They're already giving it to you. Give it to your fucking scientists. Have them figure out what's in the shit and make your own. Like,
I mean, that's basically how Fanta became a thing. I think. Like, I could have sworn that's how Fanta was made in some fashion. No, it's because they couldn't get certain ingredients, so they basically made Fanta like its own special drink in either Germany or France or somewhere. Point is, Fanta became a thing.
communists are dumb. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, now, obviously, it takes a while to build 10 massive oil tankers worth $1 billion. Like, you know, more than a year. And guess
Did they scam them out of it?
what happens in 1991? The Soviet Union collapses, and overnight, what was one nation with one government fractures into 15 separate nations with 15 separate governments, all with 15 different sets of laws and rules. And
So which one was supposed to be responsible for them tankers?
this is a logistical horror story because Pepsi and Pizza Hut's entire supply chain, the manufacturing and the distributing, one night was all in one country. It was all perfect. It was set up, ready to go. It was a fine-tuned machine. And then overnight, it's now spread out across 15 different countries, and all those different countries want different shit.
Oh my god. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad
Right,
thing.
like the factory that makes all the bottles for the Pepsi is in Lithuania, but the Lithuanians now want to be paid up front in hard cash before they're willing to let go of the bottles, and then they have to figure out how to import the bottles from Lithuania to this new country called Belarus, and the only way to go from A to B is to bribe people on the road, all the government officials from the government that just got stood up 8 hours ago. It's a complete nightmare. And
It's like trying to get Texas Longhorn steaks over to Maine, or Maine lobsters over to California, if the USA suddenly decided to break up. I swear, people like to talk about how like Texas should secede from the Union and all that kind of stuff. Worst decisions you'll ever truly make, because you'll complicate everything 100,000 times, and you better pray if you do that, you have the support of whoever's in power, or else you're just gonna wind up back in. It's the worst decision you can truly make. Yeah, no.
that's going on a humongous scale across 15 different countries, and if that wasn't bad enough, all of the ship manufacturing capacity where the oil tankers are being built is in Ukraine, and the Ukrainians are like, I'm not fucking turning over $1 billion worth of oil tankers so you can buy bottles from a bunch of Lithuanians. That's your fucking problem. So now Pepsi is absolutely screwed. They're up a creek without a paddle. Like, if they don't get these ships, they've already...
I definitely need to look into how all these other nations, when Soviet Union fell, how these all other nations feel more about each other, like Belarus and Lithuania, and I really need to find out how they interacted with each other and how they decided to agree with the land, or did they already have this land spots, but they were Soviet? Well, I guess it's kind of like the U.S., where the Soviet Union just were these nations all together, weren't they? I am very confused, and I want to know more.
invested a ton of money in all these Pizza Huts. They've been giving them Pepsi. Like, they're going to lose their ass on this deal if they can't figure this out. They tell this to the Ukrainians, and the Ukrainians are like, okay, fine.
I know a lot of stuff, but there are so many holes that make me want to get them filled.
Fine. We'll finish the ships. We'll give them to you. You can sell them for $1 billion, but we need you to reinvest a bunch of that money back into the new Ukrainian economy. And Pizza Hut's like, okay, I'm listening. What do you want? We're going to need, like, 100 Pizza Huts and at least 5 Pepsi plants because this shit's fucking awesome.
I mean, don't try to give me a deal I don't want, right?
That's the best I could do.
Come on, we literally just had an ad just a bit ago. Come on, man. Too many ads these days,
I mean,
mate.
that's going to cost like $300 million to make all those factories and all those Pizza Huts, but like they have no other choice. Plus, they'll also have the factories and Pizza Huts, so they'll be making revenue down the road. They're securing an audience. Like, all right, best deal we're going to get, we'll take it. And while all this is going on, while Pepsi's running around 15 different nations trying to piece together their business that was shattered into a million pieces, guess what happens? Coca-Cola comes in with their abundance of cash and starts marketing all over the place, and it takes off because they have the perfect setup. Right? Like Pepsi was banking on, I was here first. I'm ingrained in the culture. They've already developed a habit of drinking Pepsi. They're going to choose me over Coke. Finally, I'll have an audience that likes Pepsi more than Coca-Cola. Not what happened at all. The Soviets view it as like, oh, Pepsi's the backup string quarterback that they were willing to sell to the commies, and Coca-Cola was the good shit that they were hoarding for themselves. So then everybody starts drinking Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola becomes the #1 soda
I'm more of a Coca-Cola fanboy myself, so this is kind of funny to me.
in what was the USSR. Okay, and that's the moral of the story. Don't do business with communists. Pepsi did that. Look what happened to Pepsi. But then, in 1997, Pepsi turns it around and completely redeems themselves. Okay, I don't know who's
How so?
responsible for it, but some diabolical genius, some red-blooded American had the best idea on the planet.
And that
What
is?
if we could get Gorbachev, the last leader of the USSR,
Here it
to
is.
do a fucking Pizza Hut commercial? Oh,
That's
and
the
it
one.
happens. It's
That's the one I remember. And I guess when I saw these cups, whenever I see these cups, I think Coca-Cola. But I guess it's actually Pepsi because it's owned by Pizza Hut, which is owned by Pepsi. So it kind of threw me off there. But man, dang it, I think Coca-Cola when I see these particular cups and that.
poetry. It's the most ironic, beautiful shit on the
Hell,
planet. This would be
oh,
like if
no.
the Soviet Union won, America collapsed, and they somehow convinced Ronald Reagan to do a commercial for the Labia or whatever that stupid, ugly-ass
What?
Soviet car was
The what? I don't think that's what that's called, sir.
called. Okay, literally the leader of the ideology of communism in America rolls up and is like, cool, yeah, just put the fries in the bag, nerd. Everybody likes to talk about what they would do if they got a time machine. I'm telling you right now, the first thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing that video, I'm going back in time, I'm gonna show Karl Marx, Lenin, Stalin, how all this shit ends, and then I'm gonna die of dehydration from pissing myself laughing so hard. In conclusion, nobody out pizzas a hut, motherfucker. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over the Fat Electrician, try some Echelon, all that's available at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Yep. Oh dear Lord.
I'm having so much fun. Give me more stupid memes to investigate.
Well, let's find out what we can come up with, right? Oh my god. Please get him more memes. I love watching these things. Alright, so that's the Fat Electrician and his Fat Files about how Pepsi got warships. But yeah, I had heard that rumor as well, and I didn't realize just how it happened. So, yeah, so they technically... It's one of those things that has a grain of truth that technically didn't happen, but this particular happened instead. I like it. I love it. This kind of stuff is my kind of jam. So, yeah, I thank you very much for joining me through finding out this little stint of marketing history. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like. If you have anything else you'd like me to react to, please do comment. And please do subscribe to both follow me more and help me build my community. Later.